Hello, some of you wanted a tutorial on how I make rockets and build a boat, so here it is. Also, I'm only going to build a single stage rocket for this video. Before we start, you will need the trowel tool and scale tool if you want to follow this video. I always build a platform with a block in the center as a guide before building anything, so it's easier to build circles. For this video, I built a tank 14 blocks wide, or 14 blocks as its diameter. These two blocks are going to be the walls of the vehicle. The walls can be as thick as 0.2 blocks or 0.1 blocks, but the thinnest we can get the walls are 0.05 or 0.05 blocks thin. But why not use 0 in the scale tool? When we use 0, it causes an offset in position when we use the scale tool as shown here. 0.05 blocks is the thinnest we can make the walls. But if you have a lot more blocks and want your vehicle to have a little bit more weight, then go make the walls thicker. With that aside, we have to clone this part and rotate it. For this, I'll be using 30 degrees for the rotation. There is a gap between the walls that we have to close, so we scale the walls to each other, make sure each side gets the same scale. And there's a little bit of excess that we have to trim, so we scale down a little. You can trim it down as precise as you want, but I won't since I'm lazy. Now we also do it to the other side of our main wall. You can go ahead and delete the duplicate. You can go scale the walls up or add some modifications before we duplicate it to make a circle. Now we select this part and clone it again, but we rotate it in a way that it's going to make a cross. Now we clone this whole thing and rotate it until all the gaps are closed. This ring has 12 sides with an exterior angle of 30 degrees. I'll show you a ring with 24 sides with an exterior angle of 15 degrees. The smaller rotation angle you use, the smoother your build will be. If you want to use other rotation angles or want a ring with a specific number of sides, here's a website that could help you. I forgot to build the floor of the tank, so here's how I built it. It'll just speed up the footage. The floor is finished, so we can go stretch the tank walls. We can go clone the tank floor up so our tank looks nice. The tank and main body of our rocket is finished. I'll go build the nose cone next. For the nose cone or any cone I build, I place a center rod that serves as a guide. I duplicate a part of the wall and rotate it a little bit to make a round shape for the nose cone. I only focus on one side since we can duplicate this over to the other side. We have to make a cross guide before we clone anything. Select the whole nose cone part first and the cross for last. Clone it and rotate it to the other side. I only did this to check the shape, and I didn't like it, so I started over again. This is a much better shape. Now make the segment thinner as it approaches the center. Subdivide the segments into parts. This will make a better looking cone. Now clone the nose cone part just like last time, but only rotate it once where it sits beside our main part. There are excess stuff that we need to trim to get a smoother nose cone. When we're satisfied with how the nose looks, we can go delete the duplicate part. We can then duplicate the nose part again to the other side, make a cross, and close all the gaps. There it is, a nose cone. This nose cone is ugly, but it's fine. Now it's time for the engines. It's gonna be the same as the nose cone but smaller. For this, I'll make our engine bell with a 4.5 block diameter. We make a center guide again. I loaded my Raptor engine just to remember how an engine looks like. You can go use reference pictures. I don't have to explain this part anymore, so I'll just play the footage. After the engine model is finished, we can put some thrusters in it. These red thrusters last 40 seconds while the normal white thrusters only last 10 seconds. I make the thrusters invisible and turn collision off. After the engine is fully complete, we can connect it to the main tank. Now it actually looks like a rocket. I made a launch mount for the rocket so it can launch properly. I played around with the rocket for a little bit, and I decided to make the nose cone a capsule. I detached the main tank walls from the nose cone and put a glue block below the capsule. I also added a window and parachutes. I did a paint job and the rocket is finished.
Swallow pills like cherry pops. Lose my way and lose my touch. I got Sharpies in my sauce. Draw 3 lines and test my gut. Draw 3 lines and rest my gut. I got Sharpies in my sauce. Draw 3 lines.